have opened this earlier here. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tuck, and as you can see, I like to play with makeup. So my idea for this look was I wanted to do something dark and dramatic, which is what I like to do, but also make it sparkly enough for a New Year's Eve party. So I'm recording this on December 30th, and so of course tomorrow is New Year's Eve. There were some struggles along the way. So if you'd like to see how I achieved this look, as well as what pitfalls I ran into and what you can avoid in the future, please stay tuned. So for today's look, I think I'm going to do kind of a little bit more like editorial-ish vibes. We'll see how that goes. So I saw this image on Instagram from Danessa Myricks, and I'll pop it up somewhere on the screen. So as you can see, what she did was she took just primarily one color, applied it all over the lid. It's a really big, really bold shape, which I love. So I'm going to try and recreate that today, and because it is supposed to be New Year's, of course, and I love sparkle, so we're going to have some sparkle in there. I'm a face first sort of person, so I'm going to start with my base. I've already done it before in another video. I'll link to it somewhere in here. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Well, a few minutes for me, one frame later for you. Okay, my base is on. It's okay. I don't know, today's was a little bit of a struggle. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but in person there's a little bit of cakiness. I think my skin there is just a little bit dry from when I went camping over Christmas. To start off the eyes, I'm going to go in with an eyeshadow primer. I'm using this one from e.l.f. So usually to prime my eyes I would use the paint pot from MAC, but today I don't want any pigment on my eyes. I just want to mattify it. Just buff it out, make sure it's in a thin, even layer with a blending brush. I waited a couple of seconds, about 30 seconds or so, just to let the primer dry down a bit. And so now I'm going to take this brown pencil and just sketch out the shape, the shape before I blow it out, just so I have an idea what that looks like. Okay, I think that's good for now. Nice to have a rough guide. Next I'm going to go in with the shade Tribe from it's a Colorfix matte, and I'm going to use that on a shader brush, a rather large one since I want to cover a lot of my lid. So the other thing is I'm going to do this actually in small sections because it dries really quickly, and I'm not like a good enough at makeup. I'm not like Danessa Myricks, I can just do everything in one swipe. So I'm going to start by putting Tribe on the back of my hand. You only need a little bit of this product. It goes a really long way. So this is all I'm using, you can see, to start off with, and we can always just add more as we go along. Because this product is so pigmented, I'm still working off of that drop you saw earlier. I find the best way is to build it up gradually. There's that one bit right there. We'll correct it with concealer later on. But otherwise, I'm quite happy with this shape. So let me do the other eye off camera and I'll be right back. One thing I noticed as I was doing, and one thing you can see has changed, is that this eye is a lot more blown out, right? The edges here are a lot more diffused. Here it's much sharper. So I like it better when it's diffused like this. So let me show you how I got this. So the Colorfix matte products in general, actually, once you have them down, they can be a little bit hard to, they dry and they don't move too much. But if you take like a dense shader brush, which is what I have here, and you just kind of go lightly, like kind of sort of like drag it out a little bit or just blend it very gently, you can blow it out a little bit more. So let me show you what that looks like. So you can kind of see how it's not quite all the way diffused, but it's quite a bit more diffused than it was earlier. Now sometimes, as you can see on this top along the top edge. It can be a little bit stubborn, especially if it's had a chance to set. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the product on the brush, but like mostly dried out, and then use that and pat it over the harsh edges. Again, just as a way to like blend it just a little bit more and diffuse that edge. There we go. To fix the unevenness, I'm going to use a technique that I first learned from Wayne Goss. So basically you take kind of one of these old school, if you will, stippling triangle makeup sponges, and you just take some foundation and you just go over the areas that you want to clean up, and then that helps blend everything also. Okay, so this side I want to, I do want to pull it out even more because just to match this side. So let me go ahead and do that. So 5 hours later, mostly kidding, but it did take a while for me to get it to a point where I was happy with it. You know, it was one of those situations where I corrected something and then I noticed something else, and I corrected that and then I noticed something else, and on and on and on. So finally I just had to say, you know what, this is as good as I can get it. That's it for today. Okay, so now let's do the under eyes then, or continue doing the under eyes. I'm just gonna smoke it out even more, just to, you know, balance out how heavy the top part of my eye is. I'm doing this in like just quite gradually, just because I don't want this color to get out of my control. Okay, I think that's good. All right. Now let's do the foil. To start adding some sparkle to this look, I'm going to use the shade Odyssey. It's another one of the Colorfixes. This is like a foil or metallic finish. And this is kind of like a gunmetal gray with a silver, well, kind of like it's more of a metallic, I guess, than anything. So I'm just going to use this mostly on the inner half of my eye, and then I'll blend it out. That was much easier than putting down the base. But I guess it's like, you know, doing anything, right? You want to spend time on the foundation. So next step is inner corner. I'm going to use the shade Astral. What do you call it? Astral. Oh dear God. Astral Orchid. Astral something Orchid. Anyway, it's the Astral shade from the Mothership 3 palette. It's this shade right. It's not even in the camera. It's this one right here. Just want to tie it all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that Astral. You know what? Let me just get the name. Astral Ghost Orchid. There we go. And just put it, just dust it on the wing, just slightly here. You know, I don't want this to be all glittery, but just give it a little bit of interest. So for my lower lash line, I'm actually going to tightline with a white pencil today. Because most of this look is already so dark, I wanted to, you know, just bring a little bit, open up my eyes a little bit more, bring a little bit more lightness into this, into the eye area. And then on the top lash line, I'm going to line with a black pencil. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see, that white in the lower waterline just really opened everything up. I think it helps counteract, you know, what is quite a dramatic, quite a heavy look. So now let me go ahead and do my eyebrows. I am going to use just my regular like black kohl pencil technique, but because this eye look is kind of heavy, the brows are also going to be just a little heavier than usual as well. I'm just going to go for like a straight brow today. You can see I kind of want the line to parallel that top line of the wing. As always, there's one eyebrow that's easier than the other. Okay, that's the eyebrows then. So the eye's basically complete, I think. It's very strong, stronger than actually what I had in my head, but let's put on a lip and see how that looks. I was saving highlight for last, I'm not sure why. There was no real reason. But for highlight, we're going to go in with the Astral shade. For the lips, I'm going to go in with the shade Exxotica from McGrath. It's a very dark purple-based burgundy. And then to line, because with these darker colors, if you don't line, they just get everywhere and it's not pretty, I'm going to use Vintage from NYX. And that's the lips done. So, today's look is finally over. Can you sense the relief in my voice? It was a challenge, right? The eyes were yes. Alright, so what did we learn today? We learned that symmetry is hard, especially when you're dealing with, such large shapes and such bold colors. I also learned that I have a ways to go when it comes to figuring out how to best use the Colorfix products, especially this shade, which I've played around with a little bit before, and I've also kind of had some of the same issues that I did today. I thought I'd mastered them, but clearly not entirely. So thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Yeah, happy New Year, happy 2021. I hope it's a lot better than 2020 has been. And until next time, bye!